Looks like I'm live on TikTok. Looking through my telescope. Oh, it says the moon. Sorry, I should have changed that. It's not the moon through my telescope, it's the sun. And I just didn't change the title of the thing. I didn't think of it. So I'm in Minnesota, and we're looking through a Meade ETX 125 telescope, and then we're watching it through my iPhone 13 Max Pro or whatever it's called. And there's some kind of cool stuff going on the sun today. Let's zoom in. It's pretty focused. I mean, it's pretty grainy, I guess, zooming in that far. But yeah, tell your friends. All right, there's already some likes. Cool. Welcome, guys. And I'm going to actually be reading about the sun in the book of Enoch. Once I find it, I have to go find it. And then I'm going to come back out and read it. There's a lot about the sun in the book of Enoch. And even in the book of Revelation, there's like an angel in the sun. So it's probably interesting to be looking at the sun anyway, right? Let me zoom out a little bit. It's a little, just so you can see a little bit more of what's there. I'll zoom all the way out so you guys can see. Okay, there. That's zoomed all the way out. And I just set my telescope in the rock bed, so it might wander a little. It's probably not pointed exactly at the center of, or the axis of rotation of the sky, because the sky rotates. Yeah, the earth doesn't rotate. Pay attention. And I'm not trying to tease anyone. I'm just pointing out that that motor you hear, that is literally and physically making my telescope slowly turn in a circle, just like the sun turns in a circle. That's the truth. And you know it. The ground isn't moving. We were taught that the ground's moving. We can conceive of an idea where the ground is moving. Like, is it though? Not here where I'm at. Not in this world where I live in. But the sun is in motion, and it goes over us in the sky every day. And that is why you're hearing that motor on the telescope. Because if I was to take, I'm just centering it a little bit. If I was to take this telescope, or I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Oh, if I turn the motor off, what would you expect to see on the screen if I turn the motor off? I'll show you what you'd see, but I can't do it as slow as it would go pretty slow, but you'd see this. The sun would move out of the frame. Okay? Hey, let's do that. Let's just see what the exposure does. I can't do anything about it because it's the TikTok app or whatever. You can still see the sunspots when it's like that. But exactly, Lord Exos says the sun move away. You said it right there. That's the truth. The sun is in motion, and the moon is in motion. The whole sky, all the lights in the sky are literally in motion. You know what would be cool is if like an airplane or something flew between here and the sun. That would be neat. Okay. The point I'm trying to make is that it's easy to understand the truth. Simple. Oh, and TikTok, it's given me all these things that says, tell them to join the follow, or join, what did it say? Follow the host. Twisted Trucker 61 followed the host. That's awesome. But I know I have a Book of Enoch inside the house here, and I'm gonna go get it. I just didn't want this to wander off too far. It's nice and warm today. Mike Goupel says the earth sorry, my rubber band's in the way. Oh no. Sorry guys, I had to read his. It says The earth revolves around the sun, end of story. You've never observed that, bud. That's an idea. You can say end of story, but it's just an idea that we were taught. Nobody knows. We do know that it moves over our heads every day. So if you live in this world, the sun moves around over the earth. We don't revolve around the sun. That's a belief that you have, and you can have that. I'm not saying that you can't. What I'm saying is that that's a belief, and anyone should be able to actually admit that it's a belief. I'm going to zoom in again, but it does seem to be wandering to the left, I think, or it's hard to say because when I hang the remote back up, or just try, even if I just hang it straight down, it kind of weighs the telescope a little different. It's real sensitive. It actually all moves, not the ground though. The ground doesn't move. Corkscrew, you can see for yourself. So I'm thinking it's probably focused pretty good. I probably shouldn't mess with it. Yeah, hit the likes or whatever and share it with your friends. Share with your friends. How can Earth possibly be a globe? I don't think it can. I mean, we all understand the idea that it's a globe. The idea that it's a globe, we all understand that. Because that's the world we live in. That's what we were all raised, you know. That was the truth, being raised. But then, for some reason, many of us have turned away from that garbage and looked for the truth and have found it. Maybe not found it, but have left and turned away from definite lies. And it's kind of crazy that I even have to like censor my speech quite a bit, even with what I say about that, because one of the times, it was the last time, and I couldn't even get the video. It was the last time I did a live stream of the sun. Or was it of the sun? I think it was of the sun. And I was talking about the earth. And they took it down for misinformation. They cut my live. And I lost the access. They removed my access to the live access for 7 days or whatever. So it's weird, you know. Oh wow, West Coast winds, nice. He says I use a 25-inch telescope, and the comment went away, but I think it said, maybe you put it in the chat again what the name was. It started with an O, I think. I'm not sure. You think the earth is flat? I observe it to be that way. I really do. It's definitely stationary. I mean, that's a big part of it for me. Setting a ring laser gyroscope on the ground, the still ground, and getting a measurement, you're measuring something other than the still ground, because the ground is still. So, yeah, follow the host, guys. I'm gonna go grab that book because there's some interesting stuff about according to the Book of Enoch, and this I lean towards these kind of ideas, is that the sun and the moon, they go on a course, like, you know, much like at your high school track and field, or your football stadium, they got the track and field going around, or whatever, the track going around, much like that, but it's up in the sky. And however that happens, I think it happens because it's celestial. It's up in the sky. It's not, it's not happening down here on the ground. See, down here on the ground, it's stationary. And even when, I think it's funny because even when I'm using a telescope and there's this cricket sounding motor turning the telescope. So it's physically turning the telescope, yet the view of the sun stays in the same spot, or I try to keep it in the same spot. That's because the sun is moving over the earth. But Enoch gives the idea that it's on a track or a circuit or what else do they call it? Like a gate, and I just can't think of it right now. Is the moon flat? I think the moon is, well, it doesn't look flat, but I think that by the way that I see it go over, like if you watch it from horizon to horizon, the positioning of it doesn't change if you're taking into account the field rotation. Like as the moon rises, you're facing the east, and so as the moon goes up and over you, by the time you're done watching it, your camera or your eyes have literally went from the horizon in the east up, and you had to turn all the way around to see it setting, 180 degrees to see it setting. I know it's a period of however many hours, but that will make any image like tracking it like this, that'll make it appear to turn a little bit, kind of like a clockwise turn. Or is it a clockwise turn? I can't remember. But I think that's called field rotation. And when you take that into account, the moon appears to be flying over like we're looking at the bottom of a jet flying over or something. You know, like if you read the words on the bottom of the jet, they're not changing. It's just their orientation to how you view it as it flies over would change. So that's all I'm saying. Are you a professional astronomer? I don't think so. Yeah, you're right. I'm not. I don't think astronomers would really disagree with anything that I say about anything in the sky, because I'm actually just pointing out like real observations. The sun does go on a course in the sky. Ask any astronomer. Ask them what a sidereal motor is for. That's the sound we're hearing right now. It's not because the sun it's not because we're orbiting the sun. It's actually that the sun is literally showing up to everyone in the world every day. I mean, unless there's clouds, which there's not a cloud in sight today. I don't see one cloud. So that's why I decided to do this. P.S. I fly over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Yes, you do. I don't think the sun's... I think the sun, like, right now, I'm in Minnesota, and it's got to be 45 to 50 degrees out here. It is so warm. And the sun is higher. I mean, I have to point my telescope at a certain angle, right? Well, in the middle of the winter, when it's cold out, I have to have my telescope pointed way low to see the sun because it's way farther away. And in the summer, it's right above me. And you can tell because of the temperature throughout the summer. And the temperature, this is what I would call Occam's razor. The idea that the sun is 93 million miles away is exactly that, an idea. But when you really think about it, and the Bible says nothing escapes the heat of the sun. So if there were a billion suns out there, which one was he talking about? So there's biblical truth to understand that we haven't understood, up until these recent years. How far is the telescope zoom? Let me see what... Oh, you know what? I don't even know. And it says on the front, but I have the front covered up with the solar filter, so I can't even see it at all. Let's see. My sun shines with rays, not a circle like a planet. Yeah, we're looking at it right now. This is the sun, so... Yeah, follow the host. I see a bunch of people following. That's awesome. I put a video up this morning about, it was, what was the verses? I had, which one was it at the beginning? I don't remember. Check out my last couple of videos I uploaded or whatever to TikTok. If you follow me or whatever, just check out the last couple. I think it might be the last one. But there was a lot of talk about the sky departing, and it's a video of 2 rocket launches, or it's actually like the stage separation, and when they're using their RCS thrusters, and it just seemed like, to me, when I watched that, it seems just like, hey, let's assault God with our arrows. I mean, it's the same thing as the Tower of Babel. They went up there to shoot arrows. In the Tower of Babel, they shot, this is in Jasher chapter 9, they shot arrows up at God because they want to conquer him, right? Or they want to take heaven for their own. King Nimrod. Well, what do you think they're doing with space exploration? They're firing their arrows up at God. I mean, it's just, they're much larger and much more complex, and one of these days, the stars are going to fall like untimely figs from a fig tree in the wind. And this is what John saw. The sky departed, rolled up. Yeah. See, if there's any truth to all the other things that the Bible says, there's truth to these stories about the end too. So someone says you are stardust. Yeah, right. No, I was created by God in his image. And anyone who can't see that, with the complexity of everything in this world and how unique and special every single one of us is, I don't understand much about how you think, if that's the case. He's dead, though. What do you mean? What does he have to do with the sun? He's not dead, first of all. Or who are you talking about, John? I guess you'd have to rephrase the question. Oh, don't you think, or you don't think God is capable of using stardust? Well, you know, it depends on what you're saying. I don't think that stars formed and made all this. I think that the Word of God spoke and declared all this, and when he spoke, it came to being. That's what I believe. It's a supernatural creation, not one that's supposedly explained by science and physics. Science and physics couldn't attempt to describe or define something supernatural, would it? Because the science wouldn't really concern itself with the supernatural, I would think. And what do you know? A lot of people that are for the science, they don't believe that there's this spiritual realm or God, or they might believe, you know, that it was created somehow, but they don't give thought to the God in heaven. They launch rockets at him instead. Okay, I might regret this, but I'm going to try to focus it a little bit just to mess with it and see. You never know. It's pretty bright out here. It's hard for me to see. Is that better or worse? That's probably worse, I think. Let me go all the way the other way. There we go. Now we'll get it. Sorry about it being shaky for a minute. I think right there. That's the one. I hope. Let me see if I can see it better. Let's zoom in a little and see. What's that look like? Pretty good? That does look pretty clear, I think. People always ask, what are the sunspots? Good question. I mean, I think the sun's hot, so maybe it's the less hot area. I have no idea. Chewy Beaky said maybe the Big Bang is how God created the universe. Well, that's kind of what I'm pointing out, is that the Word of God, like in Genesis and in many other books, there's accounts of this 6-day creation. Many accounts by many different prophets that lived in many different times. So it wasn't like they were working together or something. And whoops, I just bumped it. And they said, I just totally lost it. Oh, they said it was created in 6 days, and they gave very specific, it's out of focus, isn't it? Very specific details on how it was created, even in the order that it was created. Like, for an example, okay, see, we're looking at the sun, right? Well, this is one of the, I'm still messing with the focus, sorry. Is that better? I'm leaving it right there. I think it's good. In Genesis, we've all heard the phrase, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And he saw the light was good, right? The sun didn't exist when he said that. And then there was 3 other days that he was creating things. Or, well, yeah, that was the first day. And then the 4th day, he decided that was the day he made the sun. And he placed it, yes, user 209 and all those numbers. He placed the sun inside the firmament. He set them in the firmament of heaven. Chewy Beaky has a point. Well, he wrote how he spoke it. He didn't bang it. He didn't big bang it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell us about any kind of explosion that was happening. He just spoke the words, like he said, "Let there be light," and all of a sudden there was light. And so that's something I would say that the Big Bang would be, if we were trying to come up with a physical and material way that, and you guys know it's nonsense. Something doesn't come from nothing. We can't even really create or destroy anything. We can we can take rocks and blow them up into dust. Can't really make it disappear. So the idea that the Big Bang, basically they go from what they call science today. You know, we can explain a lot about the world we live in, or we can understand a lot about the world we live in. You know, heat rises, water freezes at 32 degrees, whatever. All the things that we know, we understand a lot about it, but I don't understand how we go from that, like the search for understanding about reality, into coming up with, what do they call them, theoretical astrophysicists or something. This is all just ideas, guys, and everyone should understand that. It's not hard to know that. The theory of gravity and all these things, if you really think about what that is, that's just people trying to describe the reality that we live in, and they get lost in the struggle by trying to define things too much. And so when it comes to, like, people say, you know, well, what's your mechanism for how the sun just stays up there and the moon just stays up there if it's not gravity and the solar system? And I'm like, my mechanism? What are you talking about? I didn't put it up there. Sure, I would like to know how everything works, but the sun is up there. We're looking at it through a telescope. It has been, if it's burning, then we could call it that. It's been hot, producing light and heat for all of time, and still hasn't burnt out. Still doesn't have to refuel, doesn't have to hang on anything. It changes its course to bring us warmer temperatures and on one side of the world, and on the other side of the world it's colder, and then it switches it up. It's called seasons. The sun and moon, they move towards us and away from us throughout the seasons. We can see it. You can just look at it and tell. I mean, in the coldest part of the winter, when the days are shortest, the sun is barely above the horizon from Minnesota. I mean, it is, but it's, let's see, how many degrees would that, 20 degrees, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could look it up on Google, but very low in the sky, very, very far away from me, not producing the heat that you get in summer when it's right above you. So to me, the sun is hot. That's about all I know about it. But its mechanism, like how does it stay up there? I'm like, that's why I think it's, creation is supernatural. If you want to explain the sun as being a 93 million mile away nuclear fusion, whatever they call it, go ahead. You can think that, but don't try to push it off on other people, and don't try to teach it to your children. At least if you're going to teach it to your children, show them, make it clear to them that it's something that nobody knows, and it's something that we would all like to know, but we only know what we see and what we experience and the conclusions we come to, but ideas are the conclusions we come to. All we know is the reality of that the sun's there, and it's hot, it's warm, and it's every day, and it's the most consistent thing. I mean, we tell time on the daily with it, and it's got sunspots today, which are pretty cool. Someone said, why can't the universe be random? Well, think about it. Okay, here, I got a rock in my hand. I'll drop it in the rock bed just so you can hear it, okay? Actually, I have 2 rocks. Okay, ready? There, I just dropped them. Those rocks came from somewhere, didn't they? So, unless there was a time when everything was just all matter, do you know what I'm saying? Unless matter was created, things don't just exist. And while they do, I can't say that they do, I'm wrong. Things do just exist. Like we don't understand it all necessarily, but we do know, life is real. If you cut yourself, you bleed. If someone hits you in the face, you feel pain. That will remind you real quick that life is real, that everything's physical, material. Pain is probably one of the best ways to know, oh man, this is way too real, Should I zoom in a little bit for a while? Someone wrote, we are stardust again. That's just ridiculous. I think we're created by God in his image. The one that made everything is the God I'm talking about. He's the one that created everything. The Word of God. I think I got it focused better right now. That looks pretty clear. I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to go try to find that Book of Enoch so we can look at some of that stuff. Yeah, make sure to follow the host and hit the like button and whatever else TikTok advises you to do. Yeah, I heard someone said maybe TikTok is being banned. I've seen that all over TikTok today. Okay, Russell, I see your point. He says, we are clay. Clay is stardust. I disagree with that. Because that would be saying that the earth is stardust. The earth is not a star. Because we do come from the dust of the ground. We're made of the things that, the things we're made of are real material. But clay is not stardust. Clay is part of the ground. It's earth. After world, doesn't the Bible say we was made from sand and mud? Something like that. We're made. I think it is something. I don't remember where or exactly what it says, but we return to the earth, or we return. We don't. Our bodies return to the earth or whatever. But we do originate from earth. Yes, I agree. Oh, okay, it's not being banned, just being altered. They just changed the agreements. Good. I have no idea. I never follow any of that. If there's a way to show the sun through my telescope, I'll find it. TikTok's better than YouTube for live streaming, or for live streaming through my telescope, I should say. I just wanted to kind of look at the edge for a little while and see what that looked like. Oh, here comes a cat. Whoa. He wants to go in. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna, or you know what? I'm gonna tip it back. And would look, I kind of like these ones down here. So look like that for a while. I'm gonna go grab that Book of Enoch if I can find it. So yeah, I'll be back. found it. I even brought a chair so I can sit down. The Book of Enoch is like pretty much filled with, so look, it's filled with things about the sun. Well, not filled, but there's a lot in here about the sun. This sun is boring, he says. Could be. Excuse me. You are on a space station? No. Nobody's on a space station. Anybody's on the space station is probably not a person. Even if they look like people. Okay, so this is the Book of Enoch. It's like such an awesome, crazy book. So many haters of it. So many haters. So we were talking about what happens in the sky. And so it's a bot, bro. I'm just reading comments. Notice how you answer everyone's but mine. What was yours? I'm not answering everyone's, by the way. Yeah, that's true. Book of Enoch says the sun and moon are at the same... Well, I don't think it says they're at the same height necessarily, but it says they're both discs and they're both the same size. Which we'll look at that, because... So this is in chapter 2 of the Book of Enoch. It says... Oh, wait, I better watch for the question from Alien... I can't read it anymore. Pomeranian? Alien Pomeranian? I'm waiting for your question, so... Because you said I answer everyone's but yours. No, that's not true. This sun brought you to life, and thanks to him you live. No, it's not this sun. This is just a light that the real Son of God made. He made it by speaking it with his word. I don't have any different filters, sorry. Or I guess I have. Yeah, I might have. Just if you're talking, I'm not familiar about angstroms, but I do have. Let me look at them here. I got them right here. They're Orion. They're just color filters, I think. Orion number 58 green. Orion number 15 yellow. Orion number 80A blue. And number 25 red. And then I have one more, and I don't know where it is right now. Actually, I think, yeah, I don't have it with, but 2.9 thousand likes. That's awesome. Oh, did I miss your comment? I better not have missed that other comment. I hope so. Or I hope I didn't. Let's see. Book of Enoch says the sun and moon enter and exit portals. Yeah, it's like a, like a track that they follow, or a course, or a circuit, or what. There's many words that would describe their orbit. Even they orbit above us, or something like that. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, follow the host. Nice. Okay, so in chapter... Oh, there's the question. Oh, no, that's not the question. Maybe that was you. What is the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch is a book. I don't know everything about it, but it's what's in it that interests me. The fact that we have it, where it came from, I would guess, my belief would be that it was probably written by Enoch, seventh from Adam. That's the story I believe. So, let me center that a little bit here. There we go. Should I do it so you can see the whole thing? Like that? Is that better? Yeah, it is a very interesting book. So it says in chapter 2, it says, observe ye everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and the luminaries which are in the heaven, how they all rise and set in order, each in its season. and transgress not against their appointed order. So there's a, there's a law for the luminaries, and they stick to that law. What's that sound in the background? It's the motor that is turning the telescope to keep up with the sun. Astronomy and Beer says, where in the Bible is it? Sounds interesting. Well, in the Bible, Jude straight up quotes Enoch 1. I don't remember which verse. I have it right here. Verse 9. He quotes that in Jude, verse, I don't remember, 14 or something. That's one place it's in the Bible. Another place it's in the Bible is, it's very interesting because it gives me the idea that Jesus was reading the book of Enoch, or he had access to it, or he had read it. Because there's a lot of information in the book of Enoch that isn't in other books, like even in the Bible. And in, I think, Matthew 22, and I don't remember where else in the Gospels, the Sadducees were like asking Jesus about this woman that she married a man, and she ended up marrying, all the men kept dying, and she married all his brothers, his 7 brothers or whatever throughout. At one kept dying, and then she'd marry another one. And they were asking him, whose wife will she be in heaven? And what Jesus said to him is, he rebuked them and said, you don't know the scriptures nor the power of God. I think he said that. And I know why he would say something like that. Because in Enoch chapter 15, it says exactly what Jesus follows rebuking them with. And he tells about the angels, that they were, men were to have wives, and the angels don't have wives. And the whole thing that is interesting is he rebuked them for not knowing the scriptures. Where is that in the Bible? Where does it talk about no marriage after the resurrection? Like at the end, there was like, whose wife will she be? They were like, because they don't believe in the resurrection, guys. So they were asking him a question, and he said that they didn't understand it because they didn't know the scriptures. So to me, it was like he was nearly quoting what it said in Enoch chapter 15. So that's my thoughts on that. The book of Enoch is, I don't know all the history of it. I think it's the information in the book that I'm interested in. So then in the next chapter, so it's telling us to observe the things that happen in the heavens. That's what in chapter 2, I didn't finish that, but so they have an appointed order. And then in verse 2 it says, behold ye the earth, and give heed to the things which take place upon it from first to last, how steadfast they are, how none of the things upon earth change, but all the works of God appear to you. Behold the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, and clouds and dew and rain lie upon it. Let's see here. But he starts talking about the sun again. Yeah, right here. I was talking about this earlier. It's an observation that even Enoch told us to make. Okay, it's right here. Chapter 4, it says, again and again, observe ye the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth over against it, and you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun. And the earth also burns with growing heat, and so you cannot tread on the earth, nor on a rock by reason of its heat. So notice that it was telling you about the sun position in the summer. It says how the sun is above the earth over against it. Like, I don't know exactly what that means, but I think what it means is it's above you. I don't know what over against it means, but let's see here. I'm just looking for parts that talk about the sun. And I don't remember exactly all the places. And it's so nice out here. I'm just going to page through. Yeah, it teaches a lot about the cycles. That's right. Like, and I don't even understand it. I've tried to like understand it, and I'm like just blown away by how much information Enoch states about the sky. It's all right too. It is all the thing. Like, how would one person have all that kind of knowledge in one lifetime? Maybe he lived a long lifetime, but even so, it's pretty crazy. What does this say here? Oh yeah, this is the, Azazel, and taught men to do all sorts of evil things. Okay, Kokabel, the constellations. I started too early, hold on, or too late. Let's see here. Okay, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Yaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Armoros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakachal taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Erikel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. So they taught all these evil things on the earth. Okay. I was just adding that. So, because that's part of this, the things that the Bible talk about when Jesus would cast out unclean spirits, or any of the mention of Legion and these things, the Book of Enoch goes into great detail describing what happened and how they ended up here as demons, or as unclean spirits, or whatever you would call them, here to torment men. How did that happen? It's in this book. Specifically chapter 15, which I'm looking at chapter 9 right now. I'm kind of just scanning for the word sun, But I know it's later on in the book. It's been a while since I had this out, so I just wanted to look about it here. So yeah, then these, actually chapter 10 explains some of it, what happens to get all these evil spirits. Remember the idea of giants, or the fallen angels? It's a real thing. The books taken out by the church are called the Apocrypha. Yeah. And I don't know if Enoch would be called Apocrypha. Probably, I guess. Because a lot of those books I've read, and it's like, they're legit. They're good books. Yeah, Metal Stacker. That's so true. So it says I learned a lot about angels from that book. Or it says angels, I think, but I think you meant angels. But you know what's interesting is in chapter 71, that gives me a whole different understanding about what everything in the sky is. Because Enoch describes being taken up into heaven. We'll read that chapter. We'll look at that. Should I do it right now? Might as well. I have the book right here. So it's a crazy thing that happens when he goes... I'm terrible at Roman numerals, you guys. So this must be... I'm looking for chapter 71. Oh, there it is. Yes, there it is. Should I just read it? It's one page. It's just a page and a half. I'll read it because it might give you a different idea about the night sky. Who knows? Okay, I'll just read it. And it came to pass after this that so this is Enoch talking, or giving an account of something. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens, and I saw the holy sons of God. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their raiment, and their faces shone like snow. And I saw 2 streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of Spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand and lifted me up and led me forth into all the secrets, and he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven, and all the chambers of all the stars, and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. So that's kind of saying that these angels, they're directing all these luminaries or whatever. Wait till you find out what they are. It's crazy. So it says, and he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there, as it were, a structure built of crystals. Built of crystals, you guys. A structure. So this was in the heaven of heavens. Like that would be the high heaven, wouldn't it? So it says, he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens, and I saw there, as it were, a structure built of crystals. And between those crystals, tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw, so like, he's not like in his body, but his spirit went up there. And it says, where was I here? And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire, and on its 4 sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. So he's calling this the fire they. They girt that house, the living fire. And round about were seraphim, cherubic, and ophanim. So those are kinds of angels. It says, and these are they who sleep not and guard the throne of his glory. So he's at the place, he's in the heaven where God's throne is being guarded, and that's pretty cool. So it says, this is the amazing part right here. It's in this verse. And just think of star trails. Think of when you look at the axis of rotation in the sky, whether you're in the north or the south. Just look at the axis of rotation that you can see and do a time lapse, and you get these circles. No matter where you are, you get these circles. And here's what it says in verse 8. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. So where would that house be? Well, if I point my telescope at 45 degrees, well, right now my base, okay, I'll give you a hint. The base of my telescope, I have an equatorial mount, so it's where my telescope is pointed. There's pretty much a star right there. Pretty bright star called Polaris. And you know what else? Have you guys ever seen a video of Polaris? I better just put it up on my TikTok again. I'll do that after this live. Polaris is like a star that is like red, white, and green. It's like a light green. Emerald green. And in the book of Revelation, John was having that vision, and he said a door in heaven opened. And he said the one that sat on the throne, I think he said was like jasper stone, a sardine stone or something, a jasper stone, and a rainbow round about the throne like an emerald. And when I read that one time and I thought about it, I was like, that's the colors of Polaris. That's the colors of that star. It's like red, white, and green. And it's in the north. And there's all this weird stuff that comes to mind, like Santa Claus is, he's in the north, right? And then you have, what colors is that? Like red, white, and green? That's really weird to me. Like, I'm sure there's been all sorts of stories, but anyway. So I'm going to keep going here. So there's all these angels were circling that house. Countless angels. And Michael and Raphael and Gabriel and Phanuel and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house, and Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice with the spirit of power, and blessed and glorified and extolled. And these blessings which went forth out of my mouth were well-pleasing before that head of days. And that head of days came with Michael and Gabriel, Raphael and Phanuel, thousands and 10,000s of angels without number, and came to me and greeted me with his voice. It says, i.e. the angel, so I don't know if it says there's a lost passage wherein the Son of Man was described as accompanying the head of days, like the elect one. And Enoch asked one of the angels concerning the Son of Man as to who he was. Yeah, because a lot of people, I guess, use this to say that it's describing Enoch as the Son of Man, and it's not. Enoch was inquiring from the angel. So it says, and he, the angel, came to me and greeted me with his voice and said unto me, this is the Son of Man, who is born unto righteousness. And righteousness abides over him, and the righteousness of the head of days forsakes him not. So he has the righteousness of the Most High God. That's not Enoch. We know that. That's the Son of God. He proclaims unto thee peace in the name of the world to come. New Jerusalem, that the holy city. That's the world to come. A different world anyway. For from hence has proceeded peace since the creation of the world, and so shall it be unto thee forever and forever and ever. And all shall walk in his ways, since righteousness never forsaketh him. With him will be their dwelling places, and with him their heritage. And they shall not be separated from him forever and ever and ever. There's 3 evers there, forever and ever and ever. And so there shall be length of days with that Son of Man, and the righteous shall have peace and an upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. Oh, here we go. The book of the courses of the luminaries, of the heavenly luminaries. Well, here we go. Let's just see what this says. Oh, yeah, this talks about the sun, so I'm going to read it. The book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according... I haven't looked at the camera, sorry. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And then... I think it's focused really good, isn't it? Let me just move it a little bit. Whoa! It kind of goes... Yeah, it kind of does its thing sometimes. Oh, that's not what it's trying to do. It doesn't want to go back up. It has to lift my camera, and it's like, no. Okay, that's where I was trying to get. Boy, I almost had my foot on it, almost. Okay. I'll just start over. The book of the courses of the luminaries of the heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to all their months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their guide, showed me. And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity. I think maybe that's endureth. I don't know. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, yeah, we're looking at it. I'll zoom out there. I don't know what to do. Okay. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and it's setting in the western portals of the heaven. Check. It's true. let's see here. Okay. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. And the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Check. That's what we see. That's what we watch. I keep getting sidetracked by looking at my screen. I'm trying to just see if I look for comments, if I look at the comments, then it just shakes the thing all over, so. All right. What does it say here? Okay, we got windows even. Cool. Okay, following each other in accurately corresponding order. Where was I? Okay, the moon sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead. Okay, the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead. 6 in the east and 6 in the west. And all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun. It's on your screen. Is his circumference, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven. So it's doing a circle in heaven, like at the circumference of heaven. So where was I here? Is his circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, so he's on a chariot, and it's calling him he. Name the sun. He. Where is this? His circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. Sorry if I'm repeating it. I want to comprehend it, and sometimes it takes a minute. If you knew me, you know what I mean. No, I'm just kidding. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of the heaven. In this way, he rises in the first month on the great portal, which is the 4th, those 6 portals in the cast. So I don't understand this, and in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. And the sun rises in the heaven. He comes forth through that 4th portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer, and the night. See, he's describing, and I'm not saying I comprehend everything he's saying, but he is talking about the seasons right now. He's talking about the different portals that the sun goes in and out of, that it rises and sets at, and the chariot that carries them up. Those are all in different places. So, and it's talking about windows that it makes heat come out of. Let's see here. Okay, where was I? So, and it's talking about the sun going around to get back to the north in order to reach the east, like a circle, just a circumference. That's what it's doing. And is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of heaven. In this way, he rises in the first month. I think I already read this, but okay. Oh, okay, 12 window openings from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that 4th portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. So he comes forth from the 4th or through the fourth portal, and he sets in on the other end of the sky on the west side. He sets in the same corresponding number portal, the fourth portal, or the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer and the night nightly shorter to the 13th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth portal and sets in that fourth and returns to, sorry, I keep losing my place. Okay, I'm gonna have to start way back. I kind of lost my understanding of it. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that fourth portal 30 mornings in succession and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. So for 30 mornings. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer and the night nightly shorter to the 13th morning. So how long was that? 30. But then it says, so you're on day 13 of those 30, it says, or something, I don't know. On that day, the day is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth portal and sets in that fourth and returns to the fifth portal of the east 30 mornings. So when it comes back around the north to show up in the east, it's using a different portal to rise out of. Okay, I didn't ever understand this, so I'm getting there. Let's see. On that day, the day is longer than the night. Okay, so this is changing the time of day. The sun rises from that fourth portal and sets. That was for the 30 days, and then it says to the fifth portal to the east 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the fifth portal. So it's doing the same thing that it did with the fourth, but it moved over to the fifth. So for 30 mornings, it says. And rises from it and sets in the fifth portal, the one in the west, I think. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And returns to the east and enters into, or does it say for 30 mornings or no? Fifth portal, yeah. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. And it returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal and rises and sets in the sixth portal 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign. So 31 mornings. On that day, the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened to becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. It mounts up. I wonder what that means, like it getting ready to go. I don't know. Mounts up to make the day shorter and night longer, and the sun returns to the east and enters into the sixth portal and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when the 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 part, and the night 7 parts, or 7. And the sun goes forth from that sixth portal in the west and goes to the east and rises in the fifth portal for 30 mornings. And it sets in the west again on the fifth western portal. So it's going back to use that other one, you know, like, or those other ones. On that day, the day decreases by 2 parts and amounts to 10 parts in the night, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from that fifth. Hey, there's a grasshopper. Cool. There's snow everywhere and there's a grasshopper. Wow. And he's alive, I mean. Okay. So I'm getting, like, this is pretty deep. This is all on 1 page so far. It's a long page. And it keeps going on like this. Whoa, there's Bobby, the crazy cat. So I'm not going to read all the way through all that. It goes to the fifth and fourth. Okay, and the sun goes forth from that fifth portal and sets in the fifth portal of the west and rises in the fourth portal for 1:30 mornings on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day, the day is equalized with the night. So I think I picked up where we left off. And becomes of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west and returns to the east and rises 30 mornings in the third portal and sets in the west in the third portal. And on that day, the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than night, and the day shorter than day till the 13th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts and the day to 8 parts. So the third portal, it sounds like winter to me. However that works, but the sun rises from that third portal and sets in the third portal in the west and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the second portal. So the second portal now, for 30 mornings it rises in the second portal, and it sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11 parts and the day to 7 parts. The sun rises on that day from the second portal, same one, and sets in the west on the second portal, and returns to the east into the first portal for 1:30 mornings, and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts and the day to 6. And the sun has wherewith traversed the divisions of his orbit. And, okay, see what that said? That's what I think is true. Exactly. Disclosure Channel says they are talking about seasons and the days. Exactly. It's saying the sun goes into that portal 1. It's far away, or for me anyway, I'm in Minnesota, so the sun goes into that. So maybe that, what is that portal at the equator or something? Yeah, I'm just making it up, but I'm just saying wherever that portal is, and if you look at the sky, that's what happens. It moves its position, and that as it gets farther away, it gets colder and the day gets shorter. So it makes sense to me. Okay, so that was in the first portal. That was for 1:30 mornings, and set in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day becomes... Oh, I already read that. Okay, and the sun has traversed the divisions of his orbit and turns again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 9th part, and the night has become 11 parts and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those his divisions of his orbits for 30 mornings, rising and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 1:30 mornings. So you see how it's moving back and forth, and that's those portals are obviously in different places. So if you're close to, I would say if you're close to the 5th and 6th portal, it's probably closer to what we would call the equator. I'm just going by. And so if you go north from there, you'd be warmer when the sun was in the 4th, 5th, and 6th portals, or no, yeah, 4th, 5th, and 6th portals, because they would be, if you were on the equator, for one half of the world it would be getting cold, and the other half of the world would be getting warm. And then, so it would be, you know what I'm saying? The other world would be experiencing the sun farther away, because if you lived where the first 3 portals were, and the sun was in the 6th portal, it would be winter for you, I would think. Makes sense. So that's all about the sun, and it goes a little bit further. Oh, here's where it talks about the moon. Let's see. It's talking about 9 parts, length of the day. Okay, and this is the law and the course of the sun. So we have a copy of the written or spoken law, the spoken word. We have a copy of the law that the angels kind of have, and they've got written down up there. That's crazy. So we just read through the law of the sun. We're sun lawyers. I'm just kidding. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer. This is the law of the course of the sun, and his return, as often as he returns 60 times, and rises the great luminary which is named the sun forever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according to as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night. So, did you hear that? Runs day and night. So, the idea of time, like however much part of the world is daylight and the other part's dark, it's explained right here. It's right here. It says, so named according to its appearance. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night. And his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal. Same as the moon. So it's not some big old huge thing. That's what I say. Okay, then it talks about the moon. I'll save that for when we're looking at the moon. And I'm actually going to probably end the stream pretty quick because I got some more stuff I got to take care of here today. But what a great view of the sun though, huh? I'll zoom in one more time, try to just check it out. Whoa, that's grainy. Interesting stuff. Yeah, Metal Stacker, how is that even possible? I guess the angels showed him, so Metal Stacker says, I don't think a man could learn everything Enoch did in one lifetime just by observation. It's almost like, well, because he even just said that they took him up to heaven. They showed him the books. They showed him, like, however I don't know what that looks like. I'm just saying, that's his account. He said, they showed me, and in one case, I don't remember where, but they even wrote it down for him. What was it? The names of the angels, or I don't remember what it was. Yeah, it's getting windy too, as you can tell. That's the only way he could learn. That's probably true. We think we have so much knowledge, about the sky and everything, and it's all like, I'm finding out it's all like a lie, and everything up there is like such a mystery, really. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging. I'm going to do this again maybe later on. I just got to go beat traffic I got to pick some stuff up, so I just want to take off. Sorry about that. I'm taking my phone off. I hear, what are you doing flying around? What is that, a goose, or what is that? You hear it? What is that? Oh, it's one of them big old birds, big skinny birds. I don't know what they're called. It almost sounds like the telescope motor now. Whoops, I slipped on you guys. Sorry. Whoops. All right, I'm out. I'll do this again later, I think, if the sun stays out. Have a great day.